Okay,
Either way?
either way.
Gotcha, 3 o'clock, good.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town. This is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, I'm gonna go out of town.
Okay, I think we're
Be back
gonna-
there again.
Open the meeting.
With the I thought the area.
This is a
What
special,
did you just say?
special select board meeting, and I'm looking for the date.
July 7th.
July 7th, thank you.
7.
Yeah.
Primarily an executive session, but we'll entertain announcements. Any announcements? From anyone? No, okay, and comments?
Public comment?
Just a question, did everyone receive the email and get a chance to review it?
I received it, I haven't had time, I was running around, so.
I received it and read it.
As did I, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've received it, read it.
Do you want to share with those listening what you're referring to?
Sure, but I definitely don't wanna read it, it could take 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, a loose group of Plainfielders have been communicating with each other for months about the proposed project. And have varying interests and concerns and decided to present the select board with kind of an organized list of those concerns. So that the select board could just discuss among itself. All of those. To see if any of them are
agenda.
of value to them and might inform them on some of the decisions they have to make. We named our little group for the first time yesterday, and I already forgot the name, I think it's
Believe it
Plainfield
is.
Responsible Development Group.
Feel responsible for.
I actually didn't get this message.
You didn't,
It's
it's the only one I sent to the select board.
okay, I thought maybe it was something else. I got lots of messages today, but I didn't.
Okay.
And I'm just curious.
It came late.
Would you like a copy of it? Or is-
Sure, thanks. It came late.
PA, yeah,
Well-
it came at 9 this morning. Email to PA at Gmail.
Oh.
And I'm just curious, is there a reason, the signers of the letter went unsigned, that it was like signed as the group and not the individuals?
Not particularly, I think. Some people are. A little uncomfortable identifying themselves for fear of being. Identified as obstructionist or NIMBY, they don't want to be, they don't want to be considered that because they aren't, but. Others are comfortable, and. The group is amorphous, it grows and. Ranks and grows and thinks and. So it's kind of hard to decide. In that regard as well.
I sense we're going to have more discussions, so people can imagine, once we
You did get this.
kind of accumulate all the data, then we can have some public.
I guess the goal was that before we get to that point where. The whole town is deciding yea or nay in a bond vote or an endorsement vote regarding a major grant. Whatever it's gonna be, before we get to that point, we wanted to have some opportunity to influence. The board to think about issues, preparation for that day.
Yep, okay.
I'll just comment, I appreciate the group bringing these things. I'm glad to see that pretty much every single thing that's on here as far as concerns are things that I've already heard in conversation about the project, and so.
Yeah.
I think it's a great synthesis of the questions, and I also know that. As we look at Act 250 permitting and the 7 criteria there, and look at other things that might affect the project. Many of these things are, part of, like, there's a traffic study to look at the impact of cars, and there's environmental studies to look at the impact of the environment. And so I think a lot of the stuff, like, there's processes in place to look at, and I think, me personally, if there are huge negative impacts that these studies and things show, then I think that's something that I would take very seriously in the way that I look at the project. The only other thing I'd say is the alternative housing solutions piece. Would love, if folks in your group have real thoughts about some of these other ideas for housing, we'd love to, I'm sure we are always looking for good ideas and trying to help residents who have ideas about ways to improve the town, so.
And indeed trying to foment a Plainfield Housing Committee.
Yeah.
To explore those possibilities explicitly. And if there is
We
energy,
have discussed this in the past and.
and if there's energy,
There was
there's like a-
OPCR,
an avenue.
is that still?
That's coming, right?
that's coming.
July in this month, right? The first
The
meeting,
first one is in July,
yeah, that's this month, so
yeah.
you should have information soon, I think, right?
Yeah, but no, the announcement section next week is going to, both gonna be featured in the announcement section on our next regular meeting on the 14th.
Yeah.
And also as an agenda item for me to flush out for all what's coming and what we can expect and how we can all plug in. Thank you.
Okay, I think we should have a motion to go into executive session.
Let me check with Melinda.
Can I keep
see
this?
Melinda
Yeah, sure.
online. Melinda, did you have a public comment? Are you aware that this is a largely executive session meeting? And Rose Paul is coming in from the waiting room.
Who are you talking to? I can't see.
Melinda Vo.
Oh, okay.
The camera's not on that face.
I see the top of her head.
Okay, and
All right.
welcome Rose, just to acknowledge, we are kind of coming to the end of our public comment section. Do either you or Melinda have public comment to share before we move into executive session?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I have no concerns for public comment. I just wanted to watch the opening.
Okay,
Okay.
right, welcome.
May I make a motion?
Yes, please.
Motion to enter executive session per one VSA subsection 313A2 to discuss East Village expansion real estate negotiations.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? say
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
So nice to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Michael, for watching the cold room.
What? Is this where everyone is? Is this where it is?
Yeah, this is where people come.
Okay, okay.
Would you like to show yourself out, Melinda?
You can also remove down.
I got you.
Yeah.
Just want to hear
And
it.
get rid of the note taker too.
Yeah,
Oh, and we gotta stop recording.
Okay, give me, stop recording, I'll pause.
Okay.
May I make a motion? Carl, I'd like to motion to end executive session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we're exiting executive session and we have no action to be taken on our session. More information to come at some point.
Future agenda, as you know, I've been working on the personnel policy at length.
Yeah,
And I am, I think you've all received the most recent copy with the ink and the suggestion. I have had some additional input, particularly from water and wastewater. They have apparently conflicting sections that deal with working on holidays and overtime.
Hmm.
They do have to work on holidays. They do have to work on weekends. That means somebody has to be at
Yeah.
plant. So it was unclear that, like, if you worked on a holiday and there was an emergency, whether you just got your holiday pay or there was overtime. So we're trying to tweak some clarifying language there. I would say that's under the rubric of the other things that I've sent out, which was either policies that we've already adopted, such as the changes to the retirement system, the Juneteenth stuff, the fact that we appoint rather than elect town clerk and treasurer,
Yeah.
those types of things, which I would say is cleaning up and bringing us up. There are maybe 2 or 3 other suggestions that have come forward that I would say are new policy.
New business.
What I'm saying, new business. And what I would like to propose is that we clean up the old business, make a list of those new things, because personnel policy, like anything else, is a living, breathing document.
it's gonna keep changing.
It's gonna keep changing, but I'd like to get 90% of it off the table. But
Yeah,
I'd also like to acknowledge the fact that there are some things. For example, disability insurance has come up.
yes.
No one's given us number, well, Josh did send an email out, but like, there's no specific proposal on that. It has been suggested that we address, the supervision of employees, and this goes to sort of like right now, we hire and fire everyone as the select board.
Mhm.
And in the past, it's been delegated to department heads such as road, water and sewer and the town clerk when they were elected. And the suggestion has been that we delegate some of that back.
Mhm.
I'm not opposed to that. I think there are some reasons why that might be more efficient. However, I think that if you are an employee working for Bram or an employee working for Tristan or an employee working for Mike, that if you have an issue with that supervisor, where's the backup? And that has to be us, I think. So there, I just throw that out there because it's been suggested.
Yeah.
And again, that's new business, so.
So for next week's agenda, are we looking to handle personnel policy old business or personnel policy new business? Are we ready to do this next week?
No, I'm not ready to do it next week. I would like to put what I'm discussing here out to everyone in town to say, here's what we're planning to do. And I would like to put that on the successive meeting, because at that meeting, I would probably say I would want 20 to 30 minutes to walk us through the policy.
So that's
Okay.
that's the 28th, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so that's just my thinking on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work. Thank you for that.
Indeed.
But it's really important because I think it's been forgotten for a long time. That sounds good to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
Just another future agenda thing. Can we potentially get a rotating, like, like? I don't know, I mean, if there's issues that come up, we could have specific agenda items, but like, I don't know if we need a town constable report every 2 weeks. A town, like, I just wonder if we could think through who needs reports every week, every 2 weeks, and who might be a monthly report.
So right now it's
Just-
by request.
Yeah, I just feel like that if you look at our agendas, like,
It's-
even
no,
if we
it's-
don't give them that much time, it's like a lot of just standard report and, part of it, I just wonder where it's like things that they could just put up on the website and share with us. And then there are things like where if there's problem solving or if there's like issues that we need to deal with. It just feels like we spend a lot of time in this kind of general reports area because we have so many, and if we keep adding.
Yeah, and Michael Billingsley, for example, was saying, hey, everybody else gets there, 10, 15
Yeah.
minutes every time, so why don't I? And like,
Well,
at a whole
and I-
other meeting, it's like.
and I think we also have to have a difference between like full-time staff, which would be the treasurer and clerk, and then like very part-time and volunteer run committees and things like that. And so maybe we want to think through a policy of how those reports work and if people have specific issues. I will say, and I said this to Michael Billingsley, like I don't imagine that for a regular select board meeting, like we should have agenda items that are longer than like 20 minutes. Because that we have so many things going on. If we need more than that, we should have special meetings, or that committee could have a public meeting. Like, so when Karen did the grants meeting, she had a public meeting.
Yeah.
3 or 4 of you were gonna make it, so then it became a special select board meeting because enough of us were gonna be
Mhm.
there. But it wasn't something that we organized
Right.
or was like part of a regular meeting. So I just think we need to think through that because I feel like it's just like, I don't know that people are knowing that these things are happening and like watching very closely to just regular select board meetings for this. But also I don't know that we, 2.5 hours into a meeting are actually getting good information, making good decisions. Like, I think there's just like a cap to all those kinds of things.
I think that's a really, really good point. I've always sensed that the select board, when things are brought to the select board, it should be because we're making a decision.
Mhm.
And it's a decision that's for the town wide. It's not information. We can get information from emails or other ways. Now, it could be information the town wants.
I think that's my concern is access to information by
Yeah.
the town.
Well, but I feel like if we have committees, whatever committee, or if specific issues, we either have a special meeting, this is a special meeting with this issue, or this committee's putting on a special presentation on this issue. It's much easier to know that that's where you're finding that information than knowing it's an hour into a select board agenda.
I agree.
And so I guess I have the words of the access committee in my mind. Or the sentiments, essentially, some people, their preferred, way to digest that information is to look for the open meeting minutes and to read them.
Mhm.
For other people, that's like not really
Yeah, well,
their chosen way to access that
Yeah.
information.
Mhm.
And, at the beginning of a select board meeting, 8 minutes of verbal description of like what's happening. I agree with you fully that not every report needs to be at every meeting. And I think we're like slowly working out a flow, like Karen just requested monthly
Mhm.
for the grants group. And I think that's totally appropriate.
That's fine.
Well,
It's not that much.
And particularly in her case, because she always
Yeah.
prepares in advance a written report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that we
Yeah.
can read that, and so we can come,
I mean,
just like,
it's-
we're just having questions about this.
Is the request then to back up the verbal report with a written report? Cause that to me
Yeah.
seems like policy that is easy to just like make. Whereas to say that like this group is gonna be bi-weekly, this group is gonna be.
well, not in a
monthly,
group, I'm saying,
You know.
we could make a distinction between a full-time staff member, which there's only a handful, and everybody else.
But I think, I wanna hear Eviac every time. I know they've been.
I don't, cause they don't even show up, but also
No,
like, I
no,
don't,
they're working
but
on.
they're sending notes every time, I don't want every one of our meetings to be about Evian. Like, we are doing a lot more as a town, I don't
But
think
this
that
is
it's
supposed to be
appropriate.
transparency toward. The
Yes,
town wants to know
yeah,
about. this.
we're posting
And-
every one of their
and-
meetings.
And we're offering another channel for access.
But here's,
I'm just saying for
but
me
here's the
personally, the
thing,
2 hour.
I want Eviac to come to us when we have an action item,
That's what I'm thinking.
you know? It's like,
Their committee meetings are for the
they're
information.
also under public meeting law and stuff like that. That was the whole point. It's like, okay, you guys go do the work and stuff like this. When you have something to recommend to us, apply for this permit, apply for this loan, apply for this grant, come and ask us to act. I agree.
Well, and I don't know that there's I mean. Cause either what happens in these reports is like, it's very kind of like, basically see what we're doing in our committee. And here's like, the 5 things, which the way Kirsty Grant does who is that?
Josh,
Oh, the way that Kirsty Grant's locked, I love it.
I know.
The way that Kirsty Grant does her reports, she has like a summary at the top of every notes document.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't locked. Or he has a key. But so that those are already there, like those summaries are like right at the top of those meetings.
Yeah.
I just feel like for us to get fully into it, ends up, these reports turn into 20 minutes themselves, and we only have 6 20-minute time slots in our 2 hour meeting. I just think that we have to like
Gosh.
be better because, yeah, and I think, I think having really long meetings full of dense, too much information is not accessible either.
Well, it's information that's either repeat
Yeah,
or it's information that kind of reviews all the things that have already been sent out there for the public to be aware of. I just don't wanna have. Like, let's take the constable, I don't wanna pick on him, but let's just say, he's gonna say, well, I did this with a dog, and I did this with a camper, and I did this with this. Do we need to know that? I mean, what's our action? It's not, we don't have an action on that.
yeah,
That's
Right,
right.
I think this is like it's fine that there's personal difference, but like, I want to know what our constable is up to.
Yeah.
I wanna know what's possible, what's active and alive.
Mhm.
It's like, I think we're going to be talking publicly about the park and ride, for example.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, this is like part of the fabric of this community that wants the information of which wants to be well distributed and not pocketed
well, I
and
don't,
not concentrated.
but this is like one of those things that's perfect, right? Like. Graham went to Dan and to the rest of us and said, there's this issue, we're gonna talk about it next
Yeah.
week. And now it's gonna be an agenda item. So like, I think if these committees have specific things that they need decisions on, or they need like more conversation from us and leadership, then that makes sense. And that's like them ahead of time saying, this is what we need from you, versus just like a general report.
Well, I'm also wondering, could, under the town clerk's report, and I don't know if the town constable is a place, like, you know, Bram and Dan are in touch with each other all the time. If there's something that needs to, you know, be brought to our attention, that comes up under the town clerk's report. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, I don't know if all of our committees, like where we might assign them, like the town health officer should not be under the town treasurer's report, for example. No offense, John, but, just as an example, you know, it's like, but we don't need a town health officer.
Officer.
Yeah, I just think we have to just think it through, and what I don't, what I like is Karen sends a written report. And then augments that with like some more information or like some like highlights, and it's actually, like, she's probably doing, you know, tons of work and it's a very short thing. I just don't know that everyone else provides it in the same way.
Does she have a web? I
Yeah.
remember she's on the website,
think
so
we
she
should.
can put her stuff up on the website.
So the constable can put stuff up, like, we can all ask our
Yeah.
volunteer that does the website to put stuff up to all of these, like, I mean, we can even note, hey, if folks are looking for more information about X. This is where it's accessible. If you can't access it, either reach out to a select board member or reach out to the town office, and we're happy to help you find it.
Yeah, I know, I feel myself, yeah, in disagreement that like some people don't feel like they're being included unless there is like a person
Yeah.
sharing information with them.
How-
That feels
how-
timely and important to town.
How can we keep that sharing of information that's important? And keep the meeting
Yeah,
to a time limit that makes sense.
I'm totally here for a rubric to like eliminate unnecessary reports. And to like, you know, encourage folks to brevity with impact. And written reports backing up their verbal reports. I think maybe that is important. Maybe that's like the ante up, like to ante up to the table, to get a report in at the select board meeting, they have to be willing to like, what is their report, and to send it to.
Even just bullet points, you know,
Even just
here's
bullet
things I did for, yeah. Yes.
What if we had, I just pulled this out of the sky, but what if we had a select board's report at the select board's meeting? Basically saying, in the past 2 weeks, we had a dog issue, we had a town health officer issue, we had a road issue, et cetera, we had a grant issue. And we just present that and say, and if you want further information on that, here's where you go for it. So that we kind of report to the public all those things, rather than having each of those people come in and do 10 and 15 minutes.
And some of them are uncomfortable, honestly, with doing that kind of thing. So it would make it a little easier on them as well.
But I support that nominally. Is that more work for us though than to prepare a select board report?
Yeah.
Distilling and collating all of the various reports from all the people, and which one of us is taking that on? I'm not excited to take that on.
Yeah.
But I hear you, it's like a decent idea, I like it.
I mean, under announcements, we kind of do a little bit of that, but you know.
Yeah, it would be more formalized than in your description.
Yeah.
I mean, for right now, may we acknowledge this as a tension point, and may we like aspire to like improve and not actually come to any decision about how we proceed. But
Yeah,
just
I
acknowledge
think
that we're striving to improve the
Yeah.
situation.
I just know for me, ADHD and other things, like going through all of these reports that are informational, and then we get to places where we're having real conversations and making decisions is not great for me.
I got you.
Like, it's too many topics that have like nothing that we're like taking in information, which I can do like in a lot of different ways, but then like when then it's like 7:45 at night when we're trying to have a hard conversation about a decision we need to make.
Okay. Noted. Cool,
That's,
thank
I
you,
think that's valid.
thank you.
I feel like I don't want anyone to be stifled, like I feel like. Where's Dan Caddy been all our lives? He's like kind of amazing with all the stuff he's bringing up, like, you know. And he's right on it, and I don't want him to be in a position where he can't talk about something tonight, if he wants to, or maybe we could ask, do you wanna do a report? I mean, he's just, I don't know what we do without him, he's just on everything, he goes in the playground. You know, this thing at there's so much stuff that he's on,
it's
I don't
good
wanna
information.
stifle anybody and not let them get their information when they're taught to do it.
I guess it's important that the public gets the information. I guess that what we're saying is, do we do it at the select board meeting where we're trying to make decisions about things? That's,
Yeah, I think we all agree that there needs to be information. And so like, you know, there are committee, like most of our committees, a lot of them are public meetings too, so
Yeah.
they're being recorded, they're putting on the website. And Dan's putting out advisories like the Neil stuff on the different places, he's putting it out.
Yeah, Plainfield people and stuff.
Yeah,
Who gets
so
to-
like, I don't know, other than maybe one committee. I'm not hearing from a lot of people that they think we're like not giving them a chance to present. There's one person who didn't understand how we were doing it. But I don't hear, but I do know that there have been multiple times when we've had reports on the agenda and then the people to do the reports weren't there.
They didn't come, right?
And so then like, obviously that means we're probably offering too many opportunities.
I don't know what was going on behind the scenes.
But not just the
there.
VAC, Dan Caddy, two
I mean,
meetings in
he
a row.
was deployed.
Well, I know, but
Yeah.
We thought
That's
it was
why we
for one
didn't-
meeting.
there should be a system where it's like, we know they're coming, which might be this written ahead of time thing.
Okay,
So that they're not on the agenda if they haven't
if
provided us
we
something.
receive a report of what you're going to
Yeah.
report on by Wednesday of the week,
Yeah.
of the week before.
Well, the question might be like, what would you like to report on, and then
That-
are there specific things, specific action you need the select board to do?
yeah, and it could
Cause
just,
that can just help us like hone in on what we need to talk about.
and it could just be bullet points, like I say, it doesn't have to be a big
Yeah,
document.
yeah.
You know, just a few items, I did this, I did this, I did this, and we can then read it, and then ask questions if we want them to come in.
Yeah, we are brokering who gets time, and I think there's also a dimension that I feel aware of, which is. The public, it's like a big thing sometimes to follow the select board. A lot of people just don't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
follow town policy at all.
I have people in Barry that I talk to that don't
And-
follow
And,
Plainfield.
so, you know, like, that's their big move. I'm gonna
Yeah.
follow the select board.
Yeah.
And therefore, by how we broker who gets access to time and space and, you know, coverage,
Yeah,
that we're welcoming in those who are choosing to do that basic move
and you're right,
and
that
following the board.
you're right that some people just would rather listen to the conversation, but the trouble is those conversations. And I'm very guilty of letting people go, no, because I like people to speak
Can you
their
spell
mind.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a B-E-R.
No, but so I mean, how about we ask for a written report by the Wednesday before in order to get a spot?
Yeah, well, then I think the other thing we could potentially do in the announcement section is if we have a calendar of the upcoming meetings, if you'd like to hear what's going on with the East Village Advisory Committee, their next meetings are this one and this one, like, cause like all of these things have regular meetings.
Yeah.
You know, next Thursday at whatever time is the Hazard Mitigation Committee meeting, and they'll be discussing, you know, whatever, like we can potentially like get that info and like during announcements, just announce to people, like, these are places where if you're interested in this topic, and you're watching the select board, you can go and actually like go much more in depth.
Gotcha.
And then get it right away.
Did you have?
Yes, Josh is gonna solve our problem.
How many select board meetings a month do you wanna go to?
2, 1, 2.
Two, you said two.
I mean, two,
Two.
Yeah, two's fine.
Two regular.
You don't wanna go to 4 meetings? You can go to 4 meetings if you want. How about you? You wanna go to 2
No,
meetings?
I make a difference
Maybe
between,
five.
I make a difference between regular and special meetings, like, isn't it? Two regular
I
meetings.
got a better idea. First meeting of the month, we do a meeting every week. However, now there are 5 of you. 3 is required for quorum. First meeting of the month. Carl, Dan, Pat. Second meeting of the month, Dan, Patty, Francis. Third meeting of the month, Patty, Francis. You. Fourth meeting of the month. And we're back to, so like, you can have a rotation. Where you can have a meeting every week, but everyone only does 2 meetings a month. And you will have quorum. And you can meet for the same amount of time, because each individual person is gonna have the same hours input into meetings for the select board. However, you've doubled the hours that the select board can give to a topic, time and attention. That means that you can specialize select board meetings to more focus their energies on a particular topic. Because you can do that, you don't necessarily need to cover all your bases every 2 weeks. Because you can actually go deeper, which solves the issue of people wanting to be, you know, like, more involved in a particular topic. Because instead of like covering it, like, you know, if you need to kind of do something intermittent, you can, but you can collapse the agenda by broadening it. And then you maintain your forum and you have, you know, in this group, there are specializations. So you can act through the rotation here, you can actually rotate through areas of attention and expertise.
Well, it's an interesting idea. I have a couple of issues with it. First off, if you have three people and say, okay, next Monday is your three, and one of those is not available, then you have to have a backup, okay? Second is, we often don't control the agenda. Events outside the town do, or from within the town. A deadline comes up that's like, despite our rotating schedule, it's like, no, this has to happen
Well,
now, you know, so I think there.
that is not a problem that is like gonna get solved by having like, you know, by this change. And it's not gonna get, it's like, that's not core to like this opportunity here to like have that. Like, and because you can have a rotation where you know you're gonna do 2 meetings in a row. Right, so like, if you were there last week, you're gonna be there the coming week, which means like. You can carry forward the information from the meeting, there's always a person to carry that forward. And so when things come up, because you're on a weekly cycle, right, you'll be able to rotate in like that information faster. You know, it kind of solves your problem of like, how do we get to 7:45 and we're just like done with the road commissioners report,
He talks forever.
right? And why am I talking forever? Because I'm trying to go deeper on the topic because people care about.
No, I see your point, and I guess we'd wanna figure out if we were to do such a thing, we'd wanna figure out how everyone stays informed, we'd have to have a good way to
It is a lot more,
get that
labor.
information.
It's a lot more labor for the town office to warn 4 meetings a month. And as the person who's been writing the agendas, yeah, I don't think I would want to do that weekly and then all of a sudden we got like, it's a lot to coordinate. I appreciate the out of the box thinking, Josh, I really
It
do.
shrinks the agenda, like,
But the posting, the warning, it's,
Yeah, every week.
I play the tiniest violin. Plants.
I would like to suggest that as we reach out to all the committees, is that we say, if you have an item that you need the select board to act on, tell us that.
Yeah.
That's number one. If you just have information to share, you don't have to come and give a report, just put something up on your webpage and we'll let folks know that it's there.
Yeah,
post
we
it.
could also potentially link those reports to the minutes of the agendas or minutes of the meetings, and that way if someone is reading the meeting minutes, then there'd be links to the other reports that they can click onto.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
If reading is the way that they get to the information.
Speaking of the accessibility committee, there was
Yeah.
a thing that came through from the League of Cities and Towns today. The announcements, I don't know if you saw it, about the town of Bernardston, is it? No, down south. They have a big accessibility committee. They just did a town-wide assessment, but we actually had used to be Protection and Advocacy of Disability Rights came and did a town-wide accessibility report a few years ago, and that's where like the fix here on the front stoop, got addressed and stuff like that. They gave us pretty good report.
Nice.
Is that something we could get for?
It's in the town clerk's office. It's a few, I think it was at the very end of Linda Wells's tenure that was done. Do you guys remember? Adjourned.
Do you have business here? Like, you arrived just for the entertainment? Did you have anything to share before we get out of this meeting?
I don't know, I like process conversations. I didn't know if I snoozed all my emails. Cause I was dealing with all of the stuff, and then I couldn't really determine from the email, like going back to the one about talking about town office stuff at 7.
Oh,
No,
Bram had said that a couple members of staff couldn't make it. And so then we didn't.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know which members, he did not identify.
I got word from the town office that the town office couldn't make it.
Okay.
Excuse me, I apologize for leaving you here under false pretense.
Well, luckily, it's not a long walk from this
And
house.
Yeah.
luckily, it's nice and cool in here.
And that you like process conversations.
So are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I move we adjourn.
7:20 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Can you take this back? Can you take
Thank
it?
you.
Thank you so much.
And we're meeting upstairs.
And that's it, we're out, right? We're done?
Yeah, yeah, that was just because we were gonna be doing a